Good day, Earthlings. Sonic Ox here. So I got a new action cam. It's a Vivitar 4K. I believe it's 922 HD, something like that. I like it better than my old one because it has a front-facing and rear-facing screen. So today is really just a test of that camera versus my old Firefly. And to do that test, I'm just going to record how I field strip and clean my Springfield custom shop, Springfield Professional in 45 ACP. But again, this is just how I do it, and your way may vary. This isn't a how-to video. This is just showing what I do and really kind of testing my camera. So first, of course, we need to clear the weapon, make sure there's no rounds in it. And when you're sure it's clear and safe, I send the slide back forward. Now what we need to do is take this pin out. These 1911 style pistols are a little more difficult than, say, Glocks or SIGs. They take a little more time. I'm partial to the design, though. These things were designed by John Browning way back, over 100 years ago, and the design still stands up. In my opinion, they're great pistols. So anyway, to remove this pin, we need to pull the slide back to the takedown notch and remove the pin. And sometimes you have to push it from the other side in order to remove it. And so I always keep a wooden chopstick or something soft to push on so it won't mar the finish. I also take these down by removing the slide rather than using a bushing wrench and removing the bushing. And the reason I do that is because Springfield puts these pistols together in their custom shop with really tight tolerances, so that they can achieve maximum accuracy. And I don't want to change those tolerances or mar up the barrel or the bushing by using a wrench on it. So I do it this way. And the easiest way I've found is to use your one hand, pull it back to the takedown notch, and remove this pin. And I'm going to have to push it. You just give it a little push from the back, and the pin comes right up, right out. And now this slide will go all the way forward off of the frame. And you want to be careful to keep the spring from launching. So I just send it forward. And here's the spring wanting to come out, so I just keep my hand over that. Remove the spring. Once you have the spring out, you can remove the plug. And then you can remove the barrel. And so right here on the barrel is where that bushing rides. And so now you're safe to turn that bushing. And again, it's tight, so I will use a wrench here. But again, I'm not turning it against the tight part of the barrel. And it comes out. And then you can just slide that off the end, the bushing. So that's as far as I take it down. That's just a field strip, and I take it down to this level for cleaning. Again, I like soft wood or plastic tools so they don't mar the finish. And I like to take it off that way so that I don't hurt the tolerances. And so now what I would do, and I'm not going to do it right now, but I would take the grips off just with these screws, because I don't want whatever solvent I'm using to clean the thing to discolor the grips. Most of the stuff I use won't, but I'm in the practice of taking those off. I kind of like this stuff. It's a spray-on, kind of a foaming cleaner and lubricant. A lot of old ranchers use it on everything from tractors to their guns. Works really well. So I put this, I spray some of this on all the surfaces that are dirty, and then I'll use like a nylon brush in the barrel, and then I'll follow that by running some patches through it until they come out clean. And then I also like to use, after all that, I like to use just a high-grade synthetic lubricant, put it on the rails and all the moving parts. I run my guns wet, but not really wet. I like a light coat of oil just to make sure everything's functioning right and stays kind of clean. Again, that's my opinion. Everybody's got one. So now I'm just going to reassemble the weapon. It's just basically in reverse order of taking it apart. Again, it's a little more difficult than some because the hard part is you have to capture this spring, and you need to make sure that the lug on the barrel stays in position so that you can put that pin back through it. So that's the only difficult part, but you know, it takes a little longer, but it comes with practice, and it's really not that hard. Back in with the barrel again. Back in with the spring tube, spring cap, I guess some call it. And this is where you want to make sure that the bushing allows that spring or that cap to come forward. The tricky part, you want that lug to stay forward so that you can put that pin through. So I just kind of muscle that spring over. Go back on with the slider. Is the difficult part. probably blocking it a little bit. So now I can see that the lug is true, and I can replace the pin. So again, you go back to that notch. And this is where a lot of guys make a mistake. They'll put what some call an idiot scratch right there by scratching the pin against the frame. And if you're careful, you can put it in there without marring up your frame. Now let it go forward. Rack it a few times. Make sure it's working properly. At this point, I'll run a rag over it just to make sure it's good and clean. Recharge it. Put safety on. Now I like to top off my magazine so that I've got a full magazine and one round in the chamber. Ready to roll. Please feel free to comment on the way I do it versus the way you do it and why. This is just the way I do it, and this is why I do it this way. But like I say, opinions sure vary. This has been a fantastic weapon. I used it on the job when I was still working, and it's been the very best handgun I've ever used. Can't go wrong with one of these. Anyway, thanks for indulging me. Hopefully the camera performs